Folks, I'm afraid I've got some bad news. For the next, week or two, this is gonna be a Space Jam 2 channel. So, let me explain. Okay, so you're probably wondering where part 2 of my E3 coverage is, the part that actually covers the real E3, which was different than I expected. Well, shortly after / during E3, I got horribly sick with the worst sore throat I've ever had in my life. I recovered from it, got sidetracked, and now Space Jam 2 is a thing. See, you might not know this, but I fancy myself a professional Lola-ologist. I've literally been studying the character of Lola Bunny for 20 years now. I'm not kidding, and no, I don't mean collecting lewd fan art. I mean, I've got piles of design work and quotes from people who worked on the character and have been paying attention to how Warner Brothers portrays this character. I know that sounds ridiculous, and it makes no sense, but life leads us in strange directions. You see, back in about 2001, 2002, I did a Google search for bunny girls, and one of the first results I got was this comparison image of Lola Bunny's consumer product versus movie design, and I was like, what the heck is a model sheet? So I looked that up, and I found these model sheets, this design work from Space Jam with angry messages scrawled on it back and forth between animation and consumer products, and I felt like I'd walked into a crime scene. I was like, egad, what the heck happened here? So I tried to get to the bottom of it. I tried to find where this image actually came from, and in the midst of that, I kept bumping into stupid Flame Wars, random information from people who worked on the movie, and just kept uncovering thing after thing, and then I looked around and noticed something even weirder. There was absolutely no Lola Bunny merchandise anymore. From 1996 to 2000, it was inescapable. Her face was plastered all over every aisle of every store, and then after 2000, she just vanished. But then, you would still find her in use in, the most obscure places, like Japanese travel agencies and stuff. Because globally, she was still used as the token female Looney Tune, even though here in America, she was barely used at all. And then, she'd make random comic cameo appearances every now and then, and it just became fascinating. Because Warner Brothers spent so much time and so much money trying to shoehorn this character into an ancient freaking franchise. And then they succeeded. People were like, okay, fine, she's a Looney Tune, now what? And then they didn't have a plan after that. And it's just a struggle to get her utilized in much of anything. And when they do, it's just always a complete mess, and it becomes so fascinating. It's not just about, oh, look at the cute bunny girl. No, it's about, the struggle to design and establish a character. It's about cultural hang-ups, making her randomly offensive to different people. It's about constant attempts to redesign and rework the character. It's about gratuitous corporate incompetence. There is actually so much to say about Lola Bunny, of all things, and you wouldn't think it. So, I am thinking of starting a Lola-ology lecture series, because I wanted to do a documentary on her. I've been wanting to do that for the past 10 years, and it's really hard to start that. Just doing a flat-out, this is how the character was created, because that's what everyone wants at the start of a documentary. Really hard to do, actually, because I keep stumbling across new information that outdates old information and bumbling across random things, and it's all very up in the air, and of course there's NDAs floating around, and people who don't care and people who do care, and it's a mess. And if I do it as just a series of random videos that I'll sporadically put out, then I will be able to just talk about whatever subject I feel comfortable talking about without having to put it into a sensible chronological order, right? But anyway, yeah, so Space Jam: A New Legacy hit, and I went ahead and signed up for a month of HBO Max ad-free, so that way I could record it and clip out all of her scenes to analyze them. For the record, we're looking at 13 minutes of screen time, 5 minutes 2D animated, 8 minutes CG. I really wanted to know the totals on that. She was only in 5 minutes of the original film. And yeah, so I've done that, and considering the amount of strong emotions and controversy surrounding Space Jam: A New Legacy, I kind of feel like I should do a review of that, since I did watch it and I have clips I can use. I'll have to restrain myself so as not to get copyright claimed too hard. Following that, they put out a Space Jam 2 video game on Xbox One that's a free download, and turned out surprisingly good, and I 1cc'd that on hard mode on stream, so I figure I may as well maybe do a review of that, because it's actually kind of fascinating how that's good. And then I've just finished recording an analysis of how Lola was handled in Space Jam: A New Legacy, and perhaps we'll get the first Lola-ology lecture out sometime soon, I'm not sure. But that means you're gonna have, like, 3 Space Jam 2 related videos coming out in rapid succession. I promise you we will get back to DC Superhero Girls and E3 and video games and probably Phantasy Star Online very, very shortly. But for right now, my mind palace is completely occupied by the endless gratuitous flame wars surrounding this mess of a tolerable movie. So I hope you'll enjoy it, and my apologies if you don't. We'll be back to normal shortly. Enjoy.